Kimber 2K11 2000 round follow-up review. Today we hit 2,000 rounds on the Kimber 2K11, and within 2,000 rounds I'm going to share with you a few things that I like, a few things I don't like. But overall, if you're looking for a 5-inch 2011, this is one to consider. All right, you guys, so as in the title I mentioned earlier, follow-up review for the 2K11 from Kimber. You guys, when this gun first came out, I was like everybody else. Oh, you know, before I got one, it was interesting to see why it took them so long to come to the market. And I think that whatever time they took, this is definitely well worth their time that they took to get this gun to market. This gun is very much my favorite current non-Alchemy 2011 pistol. It just shoots very well. I recently added the Stan Chen magwell to the pistol, which I'll discuss a little more because it's, for me, it's good and bad. There's one guy who's commenting, "Oh, you're in Kimber's pocket now." I wish I was in any gun company's pocket, to be honest, because I'd be probably get me a new watch, you know, get some rims on the car, you know, but nobody on YouTube is in anybody's pocket. Gun companies just don't. But it's everybody's favorite comment to say, "Oh, they're a shill, they're being paid." I wish we were paid, but we're not. And some people might say, "Oh, but you got this." But yeah, this price of what this costs them to send barely covers all of what you're seeing now. The guy behind the camera, the equipment, the ammo, the time, the range memberships, all that comes into play. So when you guys watch these videos, keep in mind that there is product sent to a channel as a marketing cost, right? On both ends. So I'm going to tell you what it is and what it's like straight up, honestly, I'm not going to shy away from being honest, because if they didn't send another gun, it doesn't hurt me, because all of what I do here at rdrgear.com allows me to buy other guns. Because when I first started this channel, we funded everything. Every gun we bought to review. So I don't have to not get a free gun. I will simply go and buy the products that I want to get. But it is nice for channels or companies to support channels and help them offset their operating costs to do reviews like this. All right, I digress. I got a little carried away there. Let's talk about the pistol. So, as I mentioned earlier, 2,000 rounds today. Before we got to the range, we had 1,500 rounds on this pistol. Only thing I've done to the gun so far is add gun butter to it. We've been flawless in performance. You guys saw the first video. Today wasn't too much about accuracy testing or target cam, whatever. In the first video you saw, I posted some pictures of that. The gun shoots very well. The one thing that I've been kind of on the fence about, and I got to reach out to Vinny at Monsoon, is I'm thinking about doing either a chunk port or some Lucky 7s, comping it, ports in here, if that's even possible. But again, I like having this gun as is, because it allows me to have a stock 5-inch 2011 pistol, because I would like to go maybe shoot some matches this summer. We have a place here in Salt Lake that does an indoor match. and it's super easy. It's quick. It's a couple of stages. It doesn't mess with my schedule here too much, but I can go get back in the saddle of shooting a match and go hang out with the guys and whatnot and shoot that match at the armory. So having this gun as is allows me to shoot that and not have too much issue with having open or whatever. As I mentioned earlier, the Stan Chen magwell. So this is kind of a good and bad thing. So let me preface, this pistol does not come with the Stan Chen magwell. Only the 2 Target models come with the magwell currently. This is on Kimber's website. You can get it on the website. When I got this one, they weren't in stock yet. I believe they have landed at Kimber, and they're getting ready to go up on the website. But if you have any questions, you can call their customer service, and they'll walk you through it. But it is a very nice add-on feature because you can see how it matches the slide serrations. The color matching to the rest of the pistol is very clean, and the beveling in the magwell is very, very well done. It makes mag change the thing. Here we go, huh? Bumbled on camera, but it's super easy. But that's something to show you guys because since it being an aluminum magwell, if this mag gets caught any which way, you can get stuck, right? So it's got to be able to get in there on an even feed to go on that magwell. But it does make a big difference because I had missed in the past without it. The downside, before I put the magwell on the pistol, so I can do this way, right? You'll notice right here, this magwell with the shape, it's kind of bowed around this portion right here. You can see how much thicker it is right through here. Well, what happens is it's pushing me off the gun this way. Before I was closer to the pistol, but now with the way the magwell sits, I'm off the gun. So what that does is it puts me away from reaching the mag release, right? So I have to change grip to get that mag out because right here it's pushing me away, and you can see how much material is through this ass end right here with the mainspring housing. That's just the design of the magwell. It is what it is, but it's not, and that's my hand size. That's not, I'm not saying it's going to be everybody's issue. For me, it's just a problem, so I have to literally just change real quick, but I can still get to the mag release, no problem. Today we had a couple issues with slide not locking back, and that was me riding. And I think what happens too is on my left hand side, I'm getting pushed up a little further because this thicker edge right here, the magwell. So to fix that, I'd have to test it without it. But for me, it doesn't really matter if a gun goes click and doesn't lock back. I'm just going to immediate action, reload, new magazine, rack slide off the optic. I'll be good to go. At 2,000 rounds, I haven't had any issues other than ammo-related stuff. There was some ammo we shot during the PDP video that we thought it was the ammo causing problems with the comp, because when we shoot the ammo out of this gun that I shot this morning, no problems whatsoever. So that's the benefit of, this pistol so far, shooting all the random range stuff. I did a random mag of duty ammo. It worked flawlessly as well. Now, this gun is not a duty gun, and some of you might ask, well, why can't I use it for duty? And the number one reason is the irons. That's the reason, because if you were going to use it for a guard work or a cop, you're going to notice that there is no rear sight in the gun, which I covered in the first video, and the front side is a standard height sight. This pistol, all 4 models of the Target, this one here, I say 4 now because there's a new one out, that's got a polymer grip module. It's got the Target slide and like a Cerakote gray and a polymer style grip. The Target OR, which is optics ready, which includes an SRO, and then the one below, which is Target, which is Irons Target. All of them are Irons dedicated guns that take optics, but not optics ready, meaning that optics with the coated iron sights. And you might ask, well, why'd they release 4 guns that are basically the same? That's a good question, right? My assumption is that this is going to be kind of go back to Kimber's lineage of having the different lines of guns, right? The TLE Custom, TLE 2. So I think what I like to see at SHOT Show, which I'm going to bet money we see, is these stay in the competition space, because you have to look at some of the influences from this gun. Frank Proctor, for one. Frank Proctor is a world-renowned USPSA Grandmaster, former Green Beret, just an all-around great pistol instructor as well. His influence on that comes heavily from a USPSA background. And then you got the young lady, oh gosh, what's her name? Blair something. She does the tactical games, right? So she's a sponsored Kimber athlete as well. So in her needs and space, it is a competition-driven pistol, which is a target style as well. So when this one came out, it's literally a target slide without the lightning cuts in the slide, and it's not the PVD rose gold color. So, and the new gun is a gray, like a Stingray gray, and it has the lightning cuts just like the targets do, but a polymer grip module. So I haven't seen that one in person yet. I just know I've seen some videos on it. I'm not for sure that's less money or not, but again, those are the ones that kind of don't fit in the semi, air quotes, tactical space. The reason I took this model from Kimber when they offered one for review was I knew it would fit in the RDS front holsters. So that's pretty much what I use in classes, at a match, in training, etc. So this slide top end without the recessed holes in the slide works very well. So, but again, there is no rear sight. So I would think at SHOT Show we see a 2K11T Tactical Series or whatever they want to call it, but I see them coming to the table with a different line of the 2K11 that's going to have a suppressor optics ready sight, maybe a comp system, a pistol that allows to maybe more marketed to the duty defense type space, right? But we'll see. You know, Kimber is getting better, right? Releasing 4 of these with the same top end in different colors, a little bit, probably not something I would have done, right? Offering this, all the guns without the magwell, something I would not have done. But things they've done well on it with like the 3 magazines. Massive home run there. A great trigger, very clean on the slide to frame fit, you know, very well done there. I could probably do without the rose gold barrel. I prefer a black one, but again, that's here nor there. With C&H making the plate for this gun, again, could they have done a rear iron? Yes, but then that would have had to change the front sight. So again, with them being more of the target line, I see the direction of why they're going the way they're going. But when you look at this pistol for what you get in that, I think around like mid to high teens, what you see online at most dealers, this is a very, very good pistol to fill that 5-inch 2011 space, right? Or that 1911 double stack space. Because majority of the 5-inch double stack guns out there outside of the Prodigy, but like the XC has a comp on it. There's no other option for staccato that's a non-comped 5-inch government pistol. And then you jump into some pretty high-end pricing as well. So I'm sure there's others, well, people like the Bull Armory, some of the lesser-known models that are 5 inches as well. But this one here for the price point, what you get in regards to aluminum grip module, the 3 magazines, optics ready, the ability to add a magwell to it, and it's a dang good looking pistol, right? It does very well on the eye. So if you are looking for that 5-inch, you know, gun, this is an option. Now, when you look in those teens priced pistols, there are some things you might not understand in regards to slide to frame fit and beveling or blending, right? Blending is where we get safety, beaver tail, all this area to be contoured and smooth. The kings of the blending is Infinity. Nobody blends a pistol better than Infinity. And if you don't know what I'm talking about blending, go look at an Infinity pistol. This whole rear end over here looks like something you'd find on some kind of a fancy Porsche or Ferrari. The lines and curves are just flawless. This gun was not that, and you'll notice that when you look at this side of the gun. So when this gun came to me, the safety here, and this is something that's happened to me a lot on staccato guns. Over the years of shooting 2011s, I have developed a pretty heavy callus right here in the web of my hand. And this web of the hand is where I actuate the safety, because this has been there since I was about 11 years old, because when I would do when my dad was in the Marine Corps, we go to the armory and shoot 1911s. This was from shooting GI 1911s, right? Old school World War I guns. And as I got older and started carrying 1911, this little callus here has always been there. If the gun is not blended correctly and it's very sharp, this callus gets split pretty quick. This one here started to get me after the first review, because it just had a really, really rough squared edge. And when I would drop the safety, that would just stab me in the thumb, basically. So I had to blend this. Now, I am not a gunsmith by any means. Taking things apart is not my forte. I'm cool to build, but I'm not a good tinkerer in taking them apart, because I'm the guy who wants to take the springs apart over the kitchen counter, and next thing you know, they're all over the place. So I have buddies who are very much nerds in the whole tuning and tweaking of these internally. So when you have a 9th degree black belt like I do in Dremel Jitsu, then you don't need a gunsmith, to be honest, right? You just put out the Dremel and you crack a cold beer and you go to town on your gun, and hope the heck hell you don't hit the beaver tail, which is what I did not do. But that now allows me a much cleaner, easy to operate, and that corner there does not get me, because now the blending follows all the way through. Now, is this perfect? Absolutely not. Did it allow me not to have to take this gun apart and hope like hell I can put it back together with the mainspring housing and all that? Yes. Have I done it before? Yes. Have I been successful every time? No. So this allows me just enough to get into and on the range and not have any problems whatsoever. But when you look at the gun, as beautiful as the pistol is, this area here, again, a production-built pistol, just gets a part out of a bin, it gets dropped in, and goes to the next guy, right? This is not something that's being blended or contoured, and the original part from this just didn't have enough blending to begin with. The Prodigy, if you look at the DS, 97 DS, it's blended much better on that gun than it is on this gun. And if you look at the XC, much better, but still a little bit on the ass end over here. So the XC, I don't shoot enough to where it bothers me, but my old DVC pistol that I had way back in the day, I did the same thing to it, because it's just something that on 2011s gets me, unless this area has had a lot of detail paid to it in regards to blending between the beaver tail and the safety. So guys, when you look at production built pistols, again, that's just me. It might be something for some folks, but again, that's something easily fixed. I do not recommend taking Dremel to your gun, but if you're pretty savvy on gunsmithing or taking things apart and reassembling them, it's not horrible to pull the mainspring out, do all that kind of stuff to it, and then reinstall it, and you're good to go. And you can, I'm just gonna cold blue this thing right here, and I'll be set. So no problems there, but the blending is much cleaner for me now as well. The Kimber 2K11, I'm digging this pistol. I really am. Kimber did send it, full disclosure. You know, they reached out. They sent them to a lot of folks. But this is now 2,000 rounds in the gun from jump, using the 3 Kimber factory magazines that came with, the 220s and the 117. Both the 220 round magazines today, and I believe this one as well, didn't allow me slide lock a couple of times, but again, I feel that that could be with the way this magwell, I'm sitting much higher on the gun with the magwell, you know, so when I really focused on getting the thumb underneath there or riding the light, so to speak, we had no problems. So again, that's, for me, it's here nor there, because like I said earlier, if I get a click, I'm just gonna tap rack, new mag goes in the gun, I'm gonna rack out the top of the slide, and we'll be good to go. But you guys, if you also need a holster for this gun, since it's a railed 1911, it does fit the Staccato, our Safari holsters. If you have this gun, just put in the notes 2K11, order a Staccato XC holster, put in those 2K11, we'll tune the holster with this gun. But you can find all of our holster mods, holster wraps, accessories on our website at rdrgear.com. Until next time, guys, be well, take care.